How to Write Quality Articles, a brief yet definitive guide. The Internet marketers, who have been around for virtually as long as Internet marketing itself, know how different the playing field is now as compared to how it used to be a decade ago. Back then, the only requirement for ranking high on search engine results pages that mattered was keyword stuffing, or mentioning the trending keyword in your article as often as you can. Not only is this old search engine optimization tactic useless now, it is frowned upon by legitimate Internet marketers. If you would like to find your works or site on Google's first SERP, you must know how to write quality articles. What makes a quality article? Before you learn how to write quality articles, you must know the characteristics of a quality article. By having clear ideas of these characteristics, you would be able to write quality articles easily. These characteristics are: capable of catching the interest of your target audience, valuable to your target audience, easy to read, clear, structured, written as well as possible. Tips on how to catch your target audience is interest. Most of us, if not all, do not usually read a boring article. Why waste time to read such an article when there are thousands of articles around the web that are more interesting and perhaps even enjoyable to read? To avoid writing a boring article, you must: 1. Give your articles short, interesting titles. Your target audience would find reading a long title tedious and will not read the rest of your article. Keeping the number of characters of article titles, including the spaces, below 60 is the so-called sweet spot, according to the majority of Internet marketers. A way of making article titles interesting is by composing them as announcements of how your articles could be of help or use to your target audience. For example, the title 10 Surefire Tips on Losing Weight announces to your target audience that the article could help them lose weight, increasing the chances that your target audience would read it. 2. Do not make your articles too long. You would not read an article 3,000 or more words long, would you? If you would not, your target audience would not either. 3. Avoid writing in long sentences. Most, if not all, of us find reading long sentences tedious. If your first paragraph consists of long sentences, it is unlikely that your target audience would read the rest of your article. 4. Avoid writing in long paragraphs. Just like long sentences, long paragraphs are tedious to read. If your first paragraph runs 10 lines or more, it is unlikely that your target audience would read the rest. Keeping paragraph length below 8 lines is the so-called sweet spot, according to the majority of Internet marketers. 5. Include images and videos. If reading books without images is boring, reading website content with neither images nor videos is much more boring. Include images and videos in your articles to increase the chances that your target audience would find them interesting. But do not overdo it. Most, if not all, of us find reading articles with more images and videos than text unpleasant. Tips on how to write articles your target audience would find valuable. Most of the people online are looking for help with their problems, pieces of advice, or useful information. Your articles will become valuable to your target audience once the former provides the latter with such help or information. Examples of articles that could be of such help or use to your target audience are DIY articles, tip articles, and news that is relevant to them. Tips on how to write easy-to-read articles. Can you remember how difficult it was to read those textbooks filled with technical terms, jargon, and highfalutin words? Similar articles are just as difficult to read, so avoid using such words. A surefire way of writing easy-to-read articles is by doing so in the way you usually speak. Doing so naturally makes you use the words you normally speak in, making your articles easy to read. Another way of writing easy-to-read articles is by including subheadings. Not only do subheadings break up paragraphs into distinct blocks, which make for easy reading, but they also encourage skimming, which points your target audience to the piece or pieces of information they're looking for, increasing the chances that they will read your articles. Subheadings, like titles, need to stand out, so set them in boldface. Tips on how to write clear articles. There may not be anything more frustrating for readers than to read an article that fails to deliver its promised message clearly. For example, why should an article about pet dog grooming also discuss the best toys for pet dogs and the latest in pet dog fashion? These topics do nothing for the article except deviate from the main topic. To avoid committing this mistake, make sure you understand the topic. Doing so enables you to focus on it and avoid including irrelevant information. Tips on how to write structured articles. Another way of writing that will invariably produce unclear articles is doing so without following the correct structure. You would not write a piece of news to be published in essay form, would you? To be able to follow the correct structure, you must know what kind of article you are supposed to write. You must also keep in mind the basic structure of all articles: intro, body, and closing, or ending. By keeping the basic structure in mind, your ideas will flow smoothly. Tips on how to write well. If there is something that can surely turn off your target audience, it is poor grammar. For example, those who frequent forums draw much flack for committing mistakes as trivial as typographical errors. To avoid this, you must brush up on your English lessons, read the works of reputable authors, proofread your works, and write as much and as often as you can. Brushing up on your English lessons not only refreshes your knowledge of writing in English, but could also help you realize your incorrect writing practices and not commit them again. Reading the works of reputable authors shows to you the correct or better ways to write, which you may apply in your articles. Proofreading your works not only improves your articles, but also shows to you the mistakes you often make, effectively helping you not commit them again. Writing as much and as often as you can is practice, and as the saying goes, practice makes perfect. In the increasingly difficult arena that is internet marketing, the best writers will win. Given this brief yet definitive guide to how to write quality articles, we hope you can rise above the rest.